series, baggin' Metal Greymon. Today we're going to be looking at the Bandai Dynamotion Metal Greymon. This comes to us from Bandai's brand new line, Dynamotion, and this figure is just but one of 3. I got my copy from HobbyLink Japan, but at the time of recording this, they are all sold out. But I will include links anyway, because who knows, maybe they'll get another stock of them in. Damn you! Up first, let's take a look at this tag that I can't fit into a top loader. We have the Dynamotion series, the figures capturing the most dynamic of motions. On the back of the tag, we have a bunch of stuff that I can't read. And on the inside of the tag, we have more stuff that I can't read, aside from warning, choking, hazard, small parts not for children under 3 years old. Oh look, it's a scannable. And another scannable. Actually, maybe I can fit this in a top load. It's a half job. And now I'm good. Moving on into paint and detail. Oh boy, there is a lot to talk about with this figure because Bandai absolutely snapped when it comes to paint and detail on this thing. The paint does leave a little to be desired in some areas, but the overall structure and what is shown on this figure is immaculate. We've got bumps, we've got veins, we've got wrinkles, we've got muscle definition, we've got beautiful mechanical details. And I do mean beautiful mechanical details. Gonna have to jump off the nest for this one because just look at all of this. It's all so good. Very simple, but very, very good. I really do have a very hard time not just being in awe of the looking hair flowing from Metal Greymon's metal little Viking helmet. We've got beautiful paint and detail for his amazing purple wings back here. I mean, seriously, that's really, really friggin' impressive. And hey, wouldn't you know it, they look good on both sides. Every time I look at this figure, it just amazes me at what Bandai did with it. And it further reminds me that this is something that I've been waiting for since I was but a wee Shinra Jira. I guess you can say a Shin Kamada-kun Jira. I was a weird, disgusting little child with chicken nuggets for arms and I was bleeding out of my neck all the time. Top it all off with more magnificent skin detail, some beautifully painted blue stripes, even more impressive mechanical detail, and even more blue stripes. The pearly whites are nice and pearly white. Yeah, Bandai did a pretty dang good job on Metal Greymon's teeth over here. Sure, the gums and everything might be a little bit uneven, but come on, it's a pretty solid job. Speaking of the pearly whites, Metal Greymon's saws. Little messy towards the end, but that's a Bandai norm. The same can honestly be said for the toenails as well, which have nice little chipped-in details. Basically, from the top and the bottom, from side to side, Metal Greymon's teeth, claw, and toenails all look fantastic. On a base level, this thing looks amazing no matter what angle it is at. Mind you, the paint isn't perfect as we have tiny little flubs like this and like this, but looking at the figure as a whole though, 2 little weird smears like that really don't bring it down at all. Going free-handed mode, I mean, we get so much with this figure, be it paint, be it detail. I really don't think being overly critical of a figure of this size, this magnitude, this level of care and passion is really right. I've had this figure for I don't even know how long. Completely never noticed that. And for one of 3 of the very first releases from this new line of Bandai, they surely have impressed. Look at how clean this eye was done. It's perfect. Yes, it's a decal, but even the blue within it and the lighter grays around it, it looks fantastic. This is very much a mess. I can still genuinely say, with zero bias in my words, that this is a fantastic release. So fantastic that I'm going... This figure isn't articulated at all. Yep. No articulation. All of the seams that you are seeing right now are all just glue-sealed pieces, so this wouldn't have been a 100% solid piece of vinyl with detail and paint. And I do recommend you be careful, because I was messing around with this figure early on after I got the glue isn't exactly the strongest. Or maybe I'm just an idiot. The whole point of the Dynamotion line is to capture a character in motion in a specific pose. And in terms of that, I think this figure does it very, very well. It's just I know a lot of people are probably going to be turned off by that, but as someone who is a massive fan of the original Digimon series and Agumon, Greymon, Metal Greymon, evolving figures are just fantastic, but this is something more up my alley. And what a way to start off a line, too. Metal Greymon looks great, Greymon and the other Robo dude that is gonna be floating on screen somewhere looks great. I think the Dynamotion line is off to a really great start. Just Bandai, you know, don't let the line die. We still haven't seen and or heard anything from the Mega Movie Monster Series line since Shin Ultraman. Y'all are gonna do something with that, right? Please. Despite being multiple pieces glued together, this figure is a super solid release. I'd keep him away from any shelf ends so high up, just to be safe though. The figure may not move, but personally, the pose he's in is just fine by me. It's the point from a lovely new line that I yet again hope actually goes somewhere, and this was a pretty short can opener. See you then.